Did I? Okay. Hi, this is Ken Anderson doing the training for the Endwell United Methodist Church shop site. I'm going to walk through 15 to 20 minutes very quickly on some things, and then I'd ask that you leave any questions till I finish that 15 to 20 minutes of tutorial. So I'm going to kind of breeze through a bunch of highlights, and then near the end of that, we'll talk about anybody's questions and specifics from there. So I'm going to get started. The first thing I want to pass on is I am using the Google Chrome browser. You see the symbol for it down here in the lower part of my screen. I don't know if you actually see the symbol, but you can use actually Internet Explorer, Safari on Apple devices, or Firefox. Those are all supported browsers. I do tell people that Microsoft Edge, which is a new browser, is not a good choice as of yet. There's some shortcomings there, and I would avoid it if possible. So I'm going to assume for this, the people that were invited to this were people that already had registered their accounts. So I'm going to run through from the point of people that have an account and explain a few things. So I think in the tutorial, the hard copy tutorial, we actually told people to go to, shop.com/EndwellUMC. And when you go there, you should see, the church's name here in the upper left. And then you would have the sign on over in the upper right. I'm actually going to sign on today as the office at church, because we have a lot of history on that, so it's easier to show things. User ID and password like any other system. So we're active on the live system. You see Rosemarie's name in the upper right. So this is the account that the church office uses when they're doing their purchasing. The first thing I'm going to just kind of brief you on is if you look straight across from the church's name, you see there's a cashback counter. That cashback counter keeps track of any cashback incentives that you've gotten through any purchases you've done through the shop.com site that the church actually has their own private franchise for. If you want to see more details about your cashback account, you go into the menu down here and you go into My Account, and you'll find every single cashback entry down in My Account. I'm not going to go through that right now, but that's where you find that out. That's also where you can cash out your cashback down in that area. So you will also see in the cashback that there's some that's pending and some that you've actually earned. They do that because a lot of stores have 30, 60, 90-day return policies, and they often do not actually commit the cash back until those return policies have expired. So there's various things you'll see with that. Now, one thing you do need to be familiar with is you can refer others, and there's two ways to refer others. You can click on the Invite Your Friends button off here on the right, and by doing that, you get a screen up that lets you put in the friend's email. You can put your own message in here and send that to them. What that does is if you send that email electronically, then you will get a 0.5% back on everything they ever spend. Now, the alternative way to do this is you can send them a link to your church site, which is in the tutorial, and then you can ask them to put the church office email, and the church will get that 0.5% extra cash back on every purchase. So you're welcome to do that either way, but we're just mentioning that that's one way that that can be handled. First thing I tell anybody coming into this is, before anything else, is come into the top here, and one way to get there, there's several ways, is type in the word Shop Buddy, hit enter, and that'll actually go and execute a add-in to your desktop. It actually shows which browser I'm on here, the Chrome browser, and these other ones will light up depending on which browser you're on, so it'll know which you're on. They also, down in the bottom here, talk about any support versions and things like that for the different browsers. I've already got this installed, but basically you just install this, accept it, and I'll explain what that does later. You can also install it now. They put it on the main menu up at the top here, so that's a second way to find that. But this is important, and you'll see why later, just because almost anywhere you go, from a shopping perspective, it helps connect you without actually having to come back to shop.com in some cases. First, just show you the menus. There's a menu down the left-hand side, which is the same as the menu across the top pretty much. And this is pretty typical of any large shopping site, categories and all that. There are a couple of significant differences. One being we do have a travel tab. They actually have a partnership with the Priceline, where you can do Priceline purchases and get cash back on some of those purchases through Priceline travel services. Now, we do have travel services with other stores such as Travelocity, Expedia, and others, but this particular one is actually in their main menu and integrated with shop.com. So we'd like to mention that one. The other unique things about this, and when I compare, this is to sites like the Amazons and the like, they do not have the travel services, and the other thing they do not have is a function we call e-gifts. And so I'm just talking about a couple of differences. Almost everything else here you'll find on those other sites, such as My List, they would be wish list, gift registries, things like that are all there. But e-gifts allows you to create a gift catalog for somebody. I actually created a demonstration here of kids' riding toys, for example. And this is just selections from shop.com of different items, and they have different ways to create these. You can do it by price, you can do it by category, you can do it by whatever way you want to approach it. And you just put them into a gift, and the name of my gift here is Demo Gift for Kids. And they actually will list these when the gift is sent to the person electronically. They do not see the prices, but they do have different options, such as for this bicycle, for example, you can let them choose the product option, which would be the color, or you could actually pick the color here. So this is actually an interactive gift that they can, if that was left there, they could actually choose which color bicycle they wanted. And this was just a bunch of riding things in that I used as a demonstration. You'll see they do get the product descriptions and other details about the products. What they do not see is the price that you pay and the cash back that you get. The pricing and all that is yours, and you do not pay for the item till they actually select a gift. So unlike a gift card, you're not paying until the gift is actually selected and sent to them. So it's a neat alternative for gift giving. I use it all the time with my grandchildren and that. The last thing I wanted to highlight that's a little different, you can find some of these out there, and I could have just typed gift cards in up at the top, but we actually have a gift card center built into shop.com, and this is going to be different than the other discounted gift cards we talk about later. But this gift card center actually gives you cash back up to 8% on the face value of the gift card. So they're not discounted per se, other than the cash back that you get on the cards. But there's a pretty big selection of gift cards out here. And like I said, for example, hotels.com is 4% cash back. So you are getting a little bit off the face values of these, and we'll talk about gift cards a little more later. But so that is a deal where you're, if you use any of these participating sites, you can get gift cards at a discount. So those are a few of the unique things, and I'm going to get into some of the important things you have to know about the shop site itself. I'm going to go back to the main menu by clicking on the big shop.com thing at the top here. But one of the things, we have 40 to 50 million products available to us within shop.com itself, so you can do true comparison shopping. And I'm going to take a printer, for example, just a computer printer, because it gives a good example of some of the comparison shopping. You could do this with a TV, with cell phones, with whatever, clothes, sneakers, shoes, etc. So, but this gives you an idea what happens. First of all, they tell you different major suppliers of the product in question, not all of them, but some of them. And also down here, I'm going to pick one as an example just because it has a lot of returns, you'll see. And it also has reviews associated with it. But this item is actually sold by 10 different outlets. You saw a pretty broad price range on that original indicator. And you can actually see here's the top offers, in the sense the lowest price based on the total retail price minus the cash back. And you have to notice that because this other one down here, while they're in here, they don't have any cash back, so it's not actually the best deal. The 161 minus $3 is better than 159 down here. So that's why that's showing up as the top deal. If you hit the see all offer, the other thing you'll notice is shipping is free on this. Anymore on the internet, most higher price items are shipped free, but shipping is always based on the supplier, so it just depends on who you're purchasing from, but this will always tell you the shipping just by hitting the calculate at the bottom. If I hit see all offers, it just goes down and shows me all the other options, the other stores. Just to tell you what's going on here, the ones that are in orange on the right that say see details are what they call one cart stores. So you're actually purchasing within shop.com under one shopping cart. If it says go to store, you're actually leaving shop.com, but you still get the cash back and other things that come with that attached store by going through this channel. And I think in this case, there's it looks like most of these are one cart stores. You will see occasionally options, and you can expand those options out and see what they've got there. So in this case, without reading through this, I couldn't tell you the differences between the two devices, but there is definitely a price difference there. So so that is true shopping comparison. It goes across between 3,000 and 4,000 retail outlets that we have a relationship with, and very worthwhile to look at comparison pricing through this mechanism. If you remember before, I talked about e-gifts, and this is brand new the way they're doing this, but they have a little floating menu over here on the right. And on this floating menu, you have different options, one of them being the e-gift. So if I wanted to add an item that's on the screen in an e-gift catalog that I had, I can do that. That just is out there by name, and by clicking on that, it would bring up the choice, and I just select which e-gift I want to put it in and go. So that's how that works. Now, what I did want to show here is we have a feature called price alerts. So you can take an item that you do want, and by clicking on that, they will actually notify you when the price drops. So, and I'm not going to save this because that would make the office a little crazy by the alerts. But This will actually send you an alert when the price drops below the current price that exists in the system. And that you'll find in the world of electronics and things like that, that's quite often that the prices change. So it's a good way to actually know that you want something. If you don't have to buy it right away, you can probably get it at a better price, and the system will tell you that. And I mentioned before, we have gift registries and wish lists and things like that, and this is where you can put items that you're searching for into those lists. You can also share items. So if you're in your church website, for example, and you share a product with somebody, and suppose they're not in our shop site already, it actually has a link to our site. So if they go in there and are interested and they register, the church will get credit for that, those shopping experiences that person takes. And you can also share various ways with folks as far as that goes. They also usually will give you different choices of how things work. You'll see various printers, for example, options of printers and things like that. And again, like all the buying options and choices that were there. So that kind of takes you through a quick example of comparison shopping, and that works with almost anything. The more you know about your product, like you want a specific model or something like that, the better this works for you, because you're actually comparing true products that way. Next thing I wanted to highlight is they have, you'll see in here what we call shopping essentials. There's a menu item, but there are some direct partner stores. You'll see Shop Direct, direct partner stores, marketplace, office supplies, etc. And these, some of these things like the groceries, for example, will compare to places like Sam's Club and that, where they actually take out some of the third parties. So these are taking out some of the middlemen. But often, for example, in groceries, you're probably going to buy, a larger quantity. So if you have families in that, or if you buy things in quantity, like 2 jars of peanut butter at a time, things like that, these are competitive with those venues. And most of these venues now, to be competitive, they do charge shipping, but I think all the direct stores listed here are at $50. It's free shipping. So you actually can get those good prices, and a lot of people that buy a few groceries and that are spending over $50. So it's easy to get over the free shipping. Just to mention, the church gets a lot of office supplies through here, and they can beat, in a lot of cases, other competitive office supply stores like Sam's and WB Mason and that. So there's a lot of value in looking in some of these direct stores. I will tell you that when you're actually looking for something, and I'm going to go back just in as example to the printer that we had up before. Oops, I got to get back to a search. So just give me 1 minute here. So the other thing you have is over on the left-hand side, a lot of filters. And one of those filters is the stores. So you will see anything with shop.com or shop.com direct, are those direct stores that will often give you better prices than you can find at some of these other locations. So that's another way to find your store if you want to see what they've got in particular, besides just looking for the comparisons up here. Lastly, on the menu here, you want to become familiar with Shop Local. Shop Local is where there's as many as 11,000 direct stores that you can walk into, most of these being restaurants right now, and get money back just for registering your credit card. You link your card through here, and this is currently the newest entry for Binghamton. Chuck E. Cheese and Vestal is now one of our local restaurants in that, but you can be in any city in the country and you'll find hundreds of options. New York City has over 400 options of restaurants and salons, things like that in here. So it's well worth, because this is one of those things you just link your cards and you forget it. And as you go to places, you'll get the cash back into your registered cashback account. So, and then just to mention this one here, there's exclusive brands that, and I'm mentioning this because the church actually earns 25 to 35%. It's almost like the wholesale to retail market markup on these items. So there's a lot of things in here. A couple to mention: Modus Cosmetics is one of the top 3 cosmetics brands in the country right now. That's exclusively sold through shop.com. They have their own skincare lines with Lumiere de Vie. They have, I'm just looking at some other things, pet health options, supplement options. Snap is their laundry detergents and things like that. And they're all competitively priced with things like your Tide and other things in the marketplace. Thing you have to watch on things like these, their goods, is they're often concentrated, so you have to look at the usage. A 40-ounce laundry detergent in Snap does 80 loads for I think it's around $12, $13, where you'll pay $11, $12 for Tide, but that only does 64 loads. So you have to be very conscious of the, how many loads a detergent will do when you're doing comparative pricing in that. So, but that's the essentials of the shop.com website. I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips. One of them being, if you know of a store that you want to shop at, like Home Depot, for example, you can just put the home store name in the search, and it'll actually show you here, and you can go to Home Depot and shop directly and still get cash back. You can go to the stores tab and look for stores. There's almost 4,000 out here, so there's a lot of them. And just an example, I'm going to do go to store here, and you see on this case, they're getting 2% cash back on anything that they purchase from Home Depot. You do have to look at the store's terms and conditions. There are sometimes conditions. With Home Depot, there aren't too many, and you can get that cash back on just about anything purchased through here. Now, another way to go directly is you can type in, if you know a store's name, and I'm going to go to a discounted gift card store, raise.com. You can actually type the store name in directly. And I mentioned to you earlier about installing this thing called Shop Buddy, and that's what this brought up in the upper corner here is a thing we call Shop Buddy. And by activating this, clicking on this button, it actually provides the cash back. Now, because I have multiple accounts running on my computer, I would hit not you and put in the church's email address to do it properly so they get the cash back. I'm just going to continue here. So this gives you a site here. It'll give you all the deals in that site, any coupon codes. You can just get that out of the way by hitting close, and it stays up here in the upper right corner with this little S. And the number of 87 deals is what comes with that, and 2% is the cash back on this site. But this is a site where you can buy discounted gift cards, and those cards can be almost any store that's out there. I'll show you a couple real quick. Dunkin' Donuts right now, you can get cards for 18% off their face value. I'm going to show you hotels.com, 7%. And let me just pick one other one here. Home Goods right now, 5%. You'll see Home Depot is only 1.6%. These change on a minute-by-minute basis. So you have to you can put alerts on these and find out how to get them. I'm just going to try. Yeah, often the restaurants are quite a bit. So you see Fridays, for example, is 15%. So that means you're getting 15%. You're paying 15% off the face value for these cards. In this case, these are physical cards. You do have options sometimes, and I'm going to see if I can find one here that has more than physical cards. Because if you get electronic cards, it'll actually tell you that here. So I'm going to go to a brand that I'm pretty sure has both, which is Dunkin' Donuts. And you'll see they have vouchers, which means they can be redeemed online or in store, but they also are delivered electronically. So in this case, you're getting a $50 face value card for $41, and you do, in this case, you do have to set up an account, check out through their cart. But once you've done that one time, you've got that account, you can set alerts on different stores and the like. I mentioned before, as an example, hotels.com, and the reason for doing that is you can also go into hotels.com and use those gift cards to purchase hotels. And by the way, you can also get cash back from hotels.com. You'll see in a second here that Shop Buddy pops up. Just waiting. There we go. And you see they give 4% cash back on hotel reservations. So you can use hotels.com gift cards and then purchase a hotel and get cash back on that purchase as well. You do have to be careful, look at terms and conditions again on these stores, because some of them will not honor cash back on gift cards. It all depends on the venue and all that. So if you're but I have found with hotels.com, with the cash backs and different discounts, I can often get prices better than some of the hotel rewards programs in that. So it's a pretty popular site. I also mentioned travel services like Travelocity, Hotwire, Expedia. They all have some level of cash back, so you can take advantage of them. And lastly, just I'm going to mention a couple stores that I'm aware of. There's a store called Box.com. If you shop at stores like Sam's Club, for example, these guys do the same type thing, larger packaging and all that, but they do charge shipping up to $50. So if you get over $50, free shipping. But it doesn't matter whether you're ordering bottled water, cases of bottled water, whatever. Once you're over the $50, you're getting free shipping. So they're very competitive with the likes of Sam's Club. I have some family members that are using this and very happy with it. You have other stores like PetSmart, Staples Copy and Print. Not the main Staples, we get 2% cash back. Staples Copy and Print, which is the print services, we get 9% cash back. Stores like AutoZone, Advanced Auto, if people do their own car repairs, there's cash back and lots of deals out there. And I'm just going to activate cashback here to show you the deals that are listed in the upper right here. So you see that there's 10 different deals. There's some coupon codes. In this case, you can get also 17% off your first order with free shipping. That's an excellent deal. So not only do you not have to spend $50, but whatever you do spend, you're getting 17% off and free shipping on the order. So this is stuff that you're not presented when you walk into a store, that you get the codes presented to you. You just click on them, copy them, and you use them at checkout. So well worth paying attention to this stuff, even though it can flash up on any of our partner stores. It's well worth paying attention to that. So I'm pretty much done with the canned presentation. So at this time, I'm going to stop the recording or pause the recording.